too far. I feel like this is gonna be our new meeting place every video. So let me see if I can line this up correctly. We have some good news, and we have some really, really bad news. We have some okay news. We have some more bad news, and then we have some maybe news, I think is all that it is. The good news is after 2 more starters and 3 more solenoids, I finally got a starter that works, and the header's back on my truck, so we will be firing that up hopefully today. The really bad news is I took the Suburban to work 2 days ago, and on my way home, mind you, I checked the oil in the morning before I left work, and I checked it again before, or I left for work, and then I checked it again before I left work. And I made it about 6 miles, and the engine blew up with 0 warning. It hadn't been 5-10 seconds since I glanced at the gauge, looked down 55 pounds, looked up, hit my blinker to change lanes, doing 65. So that's pretty unfortunate, and it's still stuck in Washington. I'm waiting on going to get it here in, I don't know, about 20-30 minutes. The other goodish news is I've tracked down 2 small block Chevys, both through the car club that I'm part of. So I'm waiting to hear back from that. Other bad news is it's pouring rain. I'm sure you can probably hear it. So that kind of stinks. And then the okayish news is, I forgot. I can't remember. Oh, the okayish news is at least we get to do an engine swap video, or several of them more than likely, at least, right? So that's cool. I think what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna run out and open the hood on the truck and gather up all the tools off the air cleaner and reconnect that. I have 1 wire to reconnect. I just got to make a little extension to go around the header. It's too close and it's going to burn. Once I get that all done, then I'll run the camera out there and put it under the truck. We'll fire it up, see that, and then by then it should be time to go get the Suburban. So yeah, let's get rocking and rolling. Pretty unfortunate about the Suburban. I feel pretty bad about that. My wife cried. She loves that thing. She likes it probably better than I do. I drove that thing a total of 4 days. Today I've had it 7 days. And I mean, it blew. It went from 55 to 0 pounds, shut itself off. It'll restart, but it doesn't sound good. And I do not have time to rebuild it right now. I'm just gonna pull it, put a new motor in. Sorry, I'm still rambling. I thought about putting an LS in it. I just don't have time right now. I don't have the time. It's already going on the end of September. The weather's turning already, and I don't have time to mess around trying to do an engine swap outside in the rain or engine build. You know what I mean? Basically, I can't have the Suburban plugging up the spot in front of the garage with the motor in here for the next 2 months while I do an engine rebuild and all of that. So it either spun the bearing, or started to, or it broke the camshaft, or it broke the distributor drive shaft, the nylon deal at the end of it. I don't know. It just lost power, started backfiring, started just slowing down really aggressively, and like it was dragging, you know. I restarted it twice, and the second time, I'm pretty sure I was hearing a rod knock. Of course, it happened in the middle of rush hour while I was on the freeway, so I sat on the shoulder for about an hour until a cop pushed me off it. It was a mess. Let's get going on my truck, and then I'll ramble some more after we get the Suburban back and start looking at it. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, that's not nice.
Yep.
Is this
dad's noise. Yeah. Alright, well, as you can clearly see, there's a Suburban. Things have changed slightly from what I said this morning. The van's in the garage because it's going to have to get done first. That's got to be my first priority. And the truck is right here. I had to move it off camera. We were in a hurry. My dad had to just dump this and go, so I didn't have time to set up. It runs. I'll show you that in a few minutes here. Or tomorrow morning, because we'll see. The main focus right now is to figure out how to get that thing where the truck was. So I'm going to put you on a time lapse. And we'll figure this out together. Let's go. Suburban is in this new home. We have, well, at least temporarily, we have just enough room. You can see we're clear of the tree. It's that's where it's gonna live for the next couple of weeks while I get this sorted out. It's late enough in the day. I'm not gonna try to pull the pan today. I'm hoping maybe I can do that tomorrow. I can't do much more of anything tonight, actually. I completely forgot I have something that I've got to go do. And by the time I get home, it's going to be dark because it'll be dark in an hour, and that's about how long it's going to take me. So, I guess what we can do is I can show you how this truck sounds now. Let me see. That's not going to work. All right. Check this out. This is actually pretty awesome. It makes it sound like it's got like a drag race cam in it, even though it doesn't. That's pretty awesome. That's a lot of fun. Also, this thing developed another fuel leak exactly where it was leaking before out of a different hose. So I'll fix the fuel leak tomorrow. Maybe pull the pan on that tomorrow. Take a quick look at it. If I can get started early enough in the day tomorrow, and then maybe start on the exhaust, depending. I'm still searching for a new motor for that and trying to figure out how it's going to happen. One of the motors fell through, unfortunately. I don't remember if I already said that or not. So there's one other one that may work. And if not, then it's either a crate motor, an LS, or I'm going to buy another parts truck. Because a few decent ones of those have popped up. So we'll see. And I'll see you bright and early in the morning.
Well, good morning. Hectic morning. I forgot that I picked up a nail in this right front tire of my dad's vehicle that I've been having to borrow for the last couple of days. I forgot about that, and went to leave the house and the tire was on the ground. So not really optimal time for picking up a camera, because it just put me about 15 minutes late to go look at this other engine. I know I'm probably jumping right into the middle of the story. The first engine fell through. It was out of a 69 Camaro, and it ran and was in good shape, good oil pressure, but the guy changed his mind on it. So now we are headed out to the valley to check out a Suburban that had a bad fuel pump or bad transmission. I don't remember which it is, and got parked. I thought it had only been like, a year, fairly recently. No, it was about 7 or 8 years ago. And I think it's a TBI motor, which is fine, but anyways. And apparently there was some misunderstanding initially when we talked about it, because I was messaging him last night, and him and his wife thought that I was buying the whole Suburban. I don't have use or room for a whole other broke down Suburban. So he said we could meet anyways and talk, so hopefully we can figure something out, because I really need a motor. So I'll let you know how it goes and what we end up doing. Gosh, I don't need another broke down vehicle. Everything I own is broke down. Okay, a couple of changes in plans. I guess first off, that the engine appears to be in good shape. It's sat for about 7 years. The oil looks good. Tried to get it to fire off, but between the jump pack and a low cranking amp battery we tried to jump it off of, there just wasn't enough power to turn that thing over. Well, not to fire it. It turned over. My biggest concern is the air cleaner's been off it for 7 years, so who knows if there's mice or junk or how much water got in it. The hood, I think, was closed the whole time, so who knows. The other problem is there's nowhere to pull it out of the rig from where it's at, and I have nowhere to put it at all, and neither does he. So still trying to figure that out. The other thing is they're really hoping to not separate it. They really just want the whole thing gone, which is fine. I would do it because the transmission actually looks good too, and all the fluid in that was bright and fresh and didn't smell burnt or nothing like that. It had decent tires on it. So who knows? That's kind of got shuffled to the back burner. My local wrecking yard over here in Idaho, I finally called them. I figured they would be ungodly expensive for a running engine. Not bad. So it's less than a third of the price for a crate engine, and it does run for sure. It's all been tested out, and it comes with a 30-day warranty, and it's already pulled. So for sake of time and convenience and space, we may end up doing that. I'm going to have to pause briefly today on my way home because this leak in this front tire has gotten out of hand. So I'm going to have to run by the tire shop and get that fixed. Alrighty, well, we're home. As you can see, I am getting some things set out here to start the work on the exhaust. Upon further research, I'm not altogether unhappy with the idea of putting a Vortec in this. Between 96 to 2000, they came with, I just looked this up, 255 to 290 horse at like 4,500 or something like that. And with a dual plane and a 650 carb, which I have, that's my Holly. So with just a decent dual plane, they go up to between 290 to 330. And if I add a camshaft, that's roughly 70-ish horsepower. I'm going to say 70. So between camshaft, headers, intake, and carb,
we could be right on the 400, 405 horsepower, 420 torque. I'm doing a lot of head scratching and debating on all of this with myself. I'm thinking that's looking like a pretty good option. Okay, YouTube. Well, the exhaust is nowhere even started, but, oh yeah, I was gonna show you this. I've got some 90s off the reducers with the race bullets sticking off of them, like so. That's kind of what we got. Oh, man, that's difficult. Going on here. There we are. So, we're gonna give this just a quick listen test because, come on. Because it's funny and I'm certain it's gonna be totally obnoxious. And I have to see how these race bullets are gonna sound. I just have to. Give me motivation to build this thing. All right, you ready? Oops. I knocked one off, hold on. That does sound pretty dang cool. Oh yeah, I'm in love. This is what the Suburban's getting. All right, that is awesome. Let's start figuring out how to make some bends out of a bunch of straights. See if we can get this figured out. My motivation is been doing this all day, and it's not a lot better at the moment. If I can easily come up with a way to tie this in the way I want, we'll do it. If not, I couldn't anticipate what happened this week, so this video is just going to be lame and unentertaining. But at least this runs, and I potentially have an engine for the Suburban now. So, I mean, something's better than nothing, right? Except that the Viking just called me back, and the only engine that they have available in the year range that I want, well, actually at all, the only Vortec that they have has 244,000 miles on it. So we'll see. We'll see. Let me start working on this and try to get this thing together. Let's do that first. All right, well, last night got a little out of hand, and that footage isn't very usable. So I'm going to start over and do this correctly this time, and stick to coffee for now. So, I don't know. Let me get some pieces kind of test fitted, and then I'll put you on a time lapse, and we'll cut and weld, and if I feel like it, then I'll put you on the little tiny whatever you call them, the mini tripod thing, and you can come under when I get ready to weld everything together. Deal? All right, let's do that. All right, I figured I'd show you this really quick. This is one of the leftover pieces from Lee doing his truck, and essentially it goes in like this on the passenger side, but it's, yeah, more like that. So the problem is this bend is way too extreme. It's way too tight. It needs to be out here. But the rest of it fits really good, and it's actually a little longer than I need, so I'll trim it down to make the X pipe where I want, because I'm trying to keep it as close towards the front as I can. Obviously we can't do 18 inches very easily because of, you know, transfer case and all of that. But what I'm doing right now is taking my grinder, making a cut so I can open this up a little bit, and I'll just weld it back together when I've got it where I need it, and it should work out great. So that'll save me a ton of time and bending and pie cuts and all of that, trying to piece it together out of bits. Trying to cut minimally. That's gonna work. Let's see if I can do this without kinking it. Which way am I going here? This way. This ought to work. Oh yeah. Whew. Let's see if that's enough. All right. That one's done. Not too bad. Oh wow, the inside's not even that bad at all. I don't know if there's any hope of you guys seeing the inside. Probably not. You'll just have to take my word for it. It's not bad at all. So we're gonna set this thing over here to cool for a minute in the gravel. And I'm gonna get going on the next piece here. So that's the passenger side basically done. So I can grab, actually I think, yeah, there's a piece under there. Perfect. I'm gonna go refill my coffee and I'll be right back. Don't start without me. All right, let's go ahead and shove this pipe up. Actually, no, I'm not ready to do that yet. I lied. I gotta clean this weld up before I do that. I lied again. I do want to double check that it fits properly before I move on to the other side. Now that I put a bunch of heat to it and all the rest of that, I'm hoping it didn't shift on me too much. Oh man, like a glove. That's perfect. Heck yeah. All right. All right. This is gonna be a lot of trial and error. Go back to time lapse. this is how far we've made it so far. It's not welded up yet. I've got to get, ouch, got to get these on here. Actually, I don't. Shoot. I'm getting ahead of myself. I made these preemptively because really we've got to tie it together now. With these, hopefully. I'm gonna set you down. I'm getting tired. I need a sandwich and more coffee. All right, hopefully you can see fairly good. I'm gonna try not to put my head in the way. Don't know exactly how I'm gonna do this yet, because essentially these have to make an X. That's not gonna work that way. How am I gonna make an X unless, actually, if I cut them right here on both sides, and then did that, and then make an X here, and then it'd have to come way down. There's too many dang things under this thing to do what I want to do. Can you still see? Sort of. There you go. All right. Because essentially I need it to make this sort of a shape like this. Then it's just gonna have to dump right down at the ground. Ooh, and then I bet I could. Okay, I have an idea. All right. I think I know what I'm doing, maybe. So, since yesterday's disaster took place, actually I wonder if there's any hope of... No, there's not. It's trash. I mean, I could fix it and make it work, but I also wasn't thinking it through very well and made the angles far too extreme on the one end, obviously. So I'm gonna try an experiment. I'm gonna put you back on time lapse, and I'm gonna try. I don't know how well it's gonna work. It might be way more work than it's worth. Well, let me just show you. Well, this is proving to be extremely difficult. You can see I've nearly got it a few times, but I'm burning out. It'd be a lot better if I didn't have to do this on the ground. I might have to just end this video out here and buy an X pipe because I'm getting frustrated. I think that's what we'll do. I gotta clean this up. It's gonna take me an hour to clean this up and go take a shower and get cleaned up because I'm black through and through. It's dinner time and yeah, that's disappointing. Well, I've got everything else welded up. I just cannot seem to get these cuts right no matter what I do. I don't, this is my 4th or 5th attempt. And I'm tired of cutting up all this 2.5 because that stuff's not cheap. I might mess around with it for a few more minutes, but no promises. I think I've already showed you this, but yeah, I did. It's out to there, and it's even now. I had to trim that side down a couple inches. At the very least, gotta go take a break. Sorry. I'll let you know what I decide here in a little bit. See you in a while. All right. We have a baby stealing Mountain Dew. So, I'm pooped. I'm done. I'm calling it. I know it's unpopular and that's not how you get views and nobody cares and all the rest, but you know what? Between the Suburban blowing up and a couple of other things, I'm over it. I've got it halfway clamped up-ish. I've got the race bullets on the back, just slid on. Hopefully don't blow them off. Probably will. But we'll at least take a quick listen. All right? This is gonna be loud for her. Ugh. Did I disconnect the battery? Yep, disconnected the battery. All right, let's try this again. Hopefully it doesn't blow these off. It probably will. There we go. Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. Let's give it one more. That is amazing. All right, well, at least we've got a pretty good idea of what those sound like. Camera's aimed way down. I forgot I still gotta fix that fuel leak. It's dripping on the exhaust. So, yeah, I'm gonna tidy things up, put away, and go get one decent night's sleep this week. I think I finally found an engine for the Suburban. So that's good. In fact, you know what? While I'm thinking about it, let's go just take a really quick look at the Suburban, and I want to look at the oil. I really don't, but I want to look at it more carefully while I have good light, see if I can see any, oh, I don't want that up there. These things tend to explode. Don't want that sitting on the dash and explode up there, that would suck. See if I can determine what's going on in here. Hold on. I don't know if you can see me or not. Doesn't appear to be anything on there. Smells like maybe it's a little bit burnt. There's no metal on the stick, so at least that's something. Still got a little bit of gold in it, not a lot. Really wish I knew what happened to this thing. It's pretty sad. No way to tell without pulling a bunch of stuff apart. Wish I could just look at it and see what was wrong with it. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, I think I found an engine for it. It's a little 305, but it's a guy I know actually, or he's an acquaintance. And he, his buddy had it in a car, driving it and whatnot, and had rebuilt it recently, or fairly recently, within the last few years. It's supposed to be pretty low mileage, he said. Pull it out to go with a 350, of course. I mean, yeah. So, I don't know, if he only wants a couple $100 for it, I might do that and just throw a nice cam in it and an intake and whatnot, and have an okay, an acceptable-ish engine for the same price as it's going to cost me to get a 350. So, I think that's the plan. This sucks. I haven't even looked at this thing since we pulled it back here. Haven't had the heart to. Pretty bummed. This was an awesome motor, an awesome rig. Try to get it back alive as quickly as possible. I got to finish the truck and get it out of the way, and finish my wife's car and get it out of the way, so I can get rid of the purple van and my truck over here. Then I can put the Suburban right up front right there, and we'll start yanking the motor. So yeah. All right, well, we will see you guys all next week. Have a good one. Gosh, I need some more coffee. I don't have my microphones because they're dead. I know I already ended the video, but got thinking about this, and I've so simply got to know. I have to know what's wrong. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Hang on a second. I got under here. Let's see what it looks like. Alright. You guys ready? Here we go. pretty black, but it's not horrible. Forgot how much oil these things hold. Here we go, now we're getting down to the bottom of it. Alright, tell me what's going on. Full of a bunch of metal flake. Water. What are you gonna tell me? Apparently nothing. I don't see any serious metal flake. I know most of it's going to be caught in the bottom of the pan, but this close to the bottom ought to be something. So maybe our bearings survived. There wasn't a whole bunch of racket when it happened, so I'm not sure. Alright, well, anticlimactic. Alright. Well, I just wanted to show on the camera in case something exciting happened, but it did not. Nothing coming out of there that shouldn't be. I want to say I have the motivation to pull the pan, but I don't think that I do. It's going to be kind of a pain in the butt. Yeah, I don't think so. I think I'm going to go inside and enjoy my night. Alright, we will see you guys all next weekend. Have a good week.